നമസ്കാരം. ഇഫക്ട് ന്യൂസിലേക്ക് ഏവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. യൂണിയൻ ബാങ്ക് വിജിലൻസ് അവയർനെസ് വീക്ക് 2025 സൈബർ സെക്യൂരിറ്റി ആൻഡ് വിജിലൻസ് അവയർനെസ് ക്ലാസ് led by DGP Manoj Abraham.
Further now, I request our additional CEO sir to welcome our distinguished guest, Shri Manoj Abraham sir, IPS and DGP heading Vigilance and Anti-Corruption. On behalf of Regional Office, Trivandrum.
Very good evening to all of you. It's indeed a privilege to come here and speak on this Vigilance Awareness Week to you friends in the banking industry, because vigilance is finally a thing of trust. We are all in the business of trust, whether it's a law enforcement or the banking sector or anybody in the government. Trust is the crucial factor. And so it's during the Vigilance Awareness Week or otherwise also, as the head of the Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Bureau in Kerala State, our role is to go and promulgate these principles of more vigilance, anti-corruption to all the citizens, because finally it's a collaborative effort. So basically today I will be talking on this theme of strengthening vigilance in the digital era. We all know we are in the digital era. It's the theme is not a motto. It's basically important for all of us that we are more vigilant in every activity, particularly in the digital era, because it's crucial not only for us or the banking sector or for the citizen, for everybody, because particularly for the banking sector it's so crucial, because the money of the entire citizens is actually in your hands. Any small mistake from your hands will actually lead to a lot of loss for the citizens in general and for the trust factor in the government. That's also very important. So before going into the topic, I just want to give you a national perspective of where we stand with regards to corruption, because I'm the head of the anti-corruption force also. If you look at the Transparency International figures, they have a corruption index which they give to every country. Around 180 countries are marked every year, they are studied every year, and a ranking is given. But the ranking of India, which is, we pride ourselves being an emerging superpower and an economic powerhouse, etc. But our rank constantly over the last 5 years have been hovering around 88 to 93, 95 among 180 countries, which is really a dismal thing for a country with such an economic revival force that is becoming a force to be reckoned with in the international arena also. That is something which we need to really work on, because we need to understand corruption really eats into the basic fabric of the society, the basic foundations of the society. So it's very important that we really raise our ranks, reduce corruption, because economic development finally can come only to a society where corruption is at the minimum. So that's very important that we work on the same. Of course, if we look at the Indian state figures, etc., if you look at corruption index in India, Kerala, as you see bottom down, we rank much less, which shows that Kerala is one of the least corrupt states in the country, which is a good thing for the state as such, but we need to look at the international perspective also. We need to really improve a lot with regards to corruption. Now, as I mentioned, corruption is so very crucial for the economic stability, for the nation's growth. It's the primary prerequisite, it's the foundation on which a country is based. And so it's very important that we all work together to build a corruption-free India. So that's also very important, because all stakeholders are involved. I can't do it alone, you can't do it alone. All of us have to work together towards this goal. So coming to the topic, why is vigilance in banking sector so important? You and us, or the banking sector, all of you sitting here are actually partakers of this concept of trust, public trust. Because only if the public trusts the bank, they will actually come and put their money into your bag, take loans from you, etc., etc. So trust is very crucial. So it's very important that vigilance is a very crucial, it's the foundation of the banking industry as such. We need to understand that. So very crucial that we are looking into that public trust aspect. Of course, vigilance means integrity, transparency, accountability, you all know that. And what we need to really look for now is preventive vigilance, not vigilance as we do it. When you have a corruption case, we go and investigate the case, we register a case under the PC Act, and then we investigate, and then we arrest that person, put him behind bars. That is all post-action of what corruption has happened. What we need to concentrate is on preventive corruption. Rather than corruption happening, we need to really take steps to ensure that we prevent corruption from happening itself. And that is where we need to be more vigilant. And that's what is important in the present times also. So what do we do in the present times? What is important is why corruption occurs in India over the years since independence. We have seen it's our procedures, it's the systematic failures that is there. A lot of procedures, a lot of cumbersome rules, a lot of formalism, etc. has really led to a lot of corruption. What we need to do is simplify, streamline and standardize our system. We have been doing that for the past 40 to 50 years, and a lot of things have changed. From the earlier times of a lot of standards, nobody knowing how the government works, how the banking system works, we have come a long way. Of course, we need to do more to streamline and standardize our system, which will actually finally bring it forth. So one of the major things that has happened, the greatest change that is happening in the world is the digital revolution. Digital revolution is one of the major revolutions into anti-corruption itself. See, when the machine comes up, when the digital systems come up, corruption will naturally go down, because what digital systems are doing is they are taking the man out of the system. It's the digital system that is processing everything. So corruption naturally goes down when the digital system keeps on increasing. And now with the AI coming up, even the human element behind the computer is also going to go, because the AI is going to take over. And so corruption, I'm sure in the future, in the next 3-4 years, it's going to come down drastically, because the human element decision making is also going to go, and the AI is going to take over. And so corruption will come down further, which is a good thing. The AI and the digital resources are doing that. But there is still many safeguards that we need to really look at with regards to vigilance in the banking sector. We all know we handle money. It's very important that we protect the money of the individuals that is there with us. It's very crucial that we do that. Now, if you look at the recent figures or the recent cases also, you will understand a lot of cases of bank frauds are increasing. In the digital realm, things have become easy with regards to frauds, because frauds can happen now from anywhere in the world. Now, earlier times, etc., if you want to rob a bank, I have to come physically to the bank, go inside, show a gun and rob that bank. But now, person sitting anywhere with a digital resource, with the internet connection, can actually rob a bank sitting anywhere if he has the necessary resources to do that, the digital tools to do that. So it's become very easy for everybody. And apart from that also, we have a lot of examples. The Bangladesh bank case is one of the major cases that happened a few years back with the Bangladesh National Bank, where fraudsters sitting in some part of the globe, supposedly North Korea, where they stole crores of rupees from the Bangladesh bank. A lot of bank frauds we have seen over the India also. We have the Punjab National Bank defrauded by Nirav Modi and Choksi for 13,000 crores of rupees through various means, where nobody followed procedure, nobody followed the rules that need to be followed. In Kerala also, we also have, in recent times also, you must have read in the papers of lot of corporate frauds happening in cooperative banks. So that is where we have not followed procedure, or we have not been vigilant enough, which has allowed these frauds to come into the place and led to these losses, the financial losses, which has really affected the reputation of the banking industry itself among the eyes of the public. So it's very important that we are more vigilant with regards to handling frauds, etc. Now, the changing environment, I told you about the digital things that have come up in every sector, particularly in banking. Banking is now almost online. Nobody goes to the bank units, etc. Everything is online. The mobile banking has come up. The mobile wallets have come up. Now AI is coming up. So banking has become very easy, very fruitful. very easy for all the citizens. You can sit, and now it's mostly digital currency also. Nobody uses cash. We know Kerala, India is one of the states, the countries which is using digital currency to the maximum extent possible also. It's all good, it's thing, but more important is in all these digital resources is that we remain more vigilant. When we are going more digital, when we are going more into easy kind of digital money, it's very important that our vigilance also increases. That's where our role in the banking sector becomes all the more important. Now, what are the risks that are there in the present digital world? I told you the robberies, etc., were physical. Now it's all digital. Now anything can happen. The phishing thing, a small email with a link, you click on it, and the whole bank credentials are also up to the hacker. Any employee, one of you, if he clicks on a wrong link from the official email, actually the hacker can come into your system and wreak havoc with the system. That's how most of the bank hacks, the hacks have happened. Even the Bangladesh bank heist happened because one of the employees in the bank, the crucial employee in the bank, clicked onto a link, a malicious link, and then the virus comes inside, the malware comes inside the bank system, and then they can do actually all the things that any manager of the bank can do, and you can actually take a lot of money out of that. Now you have a lot of artificial intelligence, ML tools also, malwares available. It's not the hacker that does it, it's using artificial intelligence, you can actually attack a lot of people together, a lot of banks together. A lot of things can be possible in that regard. Mule accounts are there. In Kerala also, in India also, we see a lot of mule accounts being used by fraudsters, for laundering money, for laundering all these frauds that are the money collected through various frauds also. A lot of mule accounts are being utilized also. You also are well aware of that. Vendor supply chain vulnerabilities where people are overbilling for things that are not that expensive, or giving poor quality goods, etc. Mis-selling, selling goods that you don't even understand that exist, like mangium or things like that. That is also a lot of cases are coming up in recent times. Fraud schemes, you all know about it. I'm not dwelling into that. But the government agencies are doing a lot of things. The CVC has, the CVC's direction only, we are conducting the Vigilance Awareness Week. The CVC has time and again they are issuing new guidelines on how to prevent such frauds also. Now they are into digital, they know about digital frauds also, digital corruption. They keep on issuing a lot of circulars, a lot of notes. I'm sure you are all aware of it. Apart from that, RBI also, their governance also, they are also aware of the cyber frauds now. A lot of cyber frauds happening with different places, UPIs, malwares, everything, ransomware, which has come to, which really encrypts the data inside the banking system and brings the whole bank to a standstill also. So those kinds of guidelines are being used. Now it's a zero trust cybersecurity approach that is being done. I think most of the banks, the RBI has already guided everybody to use that approach. Zero trust is basically you don't trust anybody. That in the sense that if I go to the police headquarters, not anybody can come in. But if I go and wear a uniform and go in, they will not check me because they'll look at the uniform and say, oh, he's a police officer, so you let them in. But in the zero trust approach, you don't trust anybody. Even if you wear the uniform and come in, you actually come, he's verified, and then only he's allowed in. So in the zero trust architecture, anybody coming inside the bank systems, they will actually be checked. Even though you know that he's a person or he's a manager or this thing, you will verify him. Only the verified people are allowed inside. So it is trusting nobody. So that's the new approach that has come in. RBI also emphasizes on that approach, and most of the banks are into that approach, I'm sure. Focus on AI defenses, of course, the artificial intelligence, the human element behind the cyber security realm also is changing. It's a system that is changing over. The AI is taking over the cyber security realm also. So it is not the human element that is looking into red flags that are there inside the system. The AI system will actually do that. The role of the bank is, of course, very important. In the banks also, technology has to drive, as I mentioned, anomaly, something special is happening, or a lot of, in one account, a lot of amount is coming on a particular day, or in a day, a lot of money is going away from particular account to a lot of accounts. So there is some anomaly, there is an unusual transaction happening. Immediately the AI-driven system should flag that, and we should be able to block that account. transparent policies. Whistleblower protection is very important. Generally in the country, in the system also, when we see some corruption happening, we don't really come and speak up. We just remain silent. That's one system. But the whistleblower system is there, where we need to really come and speak up and say that this is wrong, and this is the wrong thing happening, or this is something that is an anomaly that we need to speak out on. Process is also very important. Culture. The culture is what is the most important thing in government. We need to really change the culture of how we go about our things. We accept corruption in the country, that unless we give the money, it won't happen. And we accept it that this is a part of the whole game itself. We need to change that culture. We need to fight out this corruption. We need to really stand up against any sort of anti-vigilance measures that are coming up, and ensure that our country is not really boarded down by all these corruption measures. Employees, it's very important, because a small mistake from your side can really ensure that your bank loses a lot of money. So it's you need to follow all the cyber hygiene principles, each individual working, because now we are all into the digital systems, so we need to have strong passwords. Everybody need to have strong passwords. In Kerala recently also, in a cooperative bank, a hack happened because the person who was working behind the thing had kept his password written on a piece of page under the keyboard. So in the evening, when the sweeper came in to clean that, he took out the mouse pad and found the password written on a piece of paper, and he passed it on to somebody, and they could hack into the system. So even in present times also, we don't understand the importance of passwords. So we need to have strong passwords. Multi-factor authentication or the double-factor authentication, it's not only the password. You have a number also coming in, or multiple factor authentication. Lock workstations. Many of the people, they don't lock their workstations at all. They'll keep it on and go, and anybody can come in after the office hours or in between the lunch break, etc., and access the systems. This is happening even in the corporations now. Recently in one of the corporations, we find that one person came in and through the open workstations that are available, authenticated everybody and passed on the bills, total bills, using the local available workstations in that office without even doing anything, because everything was open. They don't close it down. Verify links and requests, that we know you should not really click on to any links that is coming from unknown sources, etc. We Indians, we Keralites generally fall for all such praise very easily. If you say you're going to get a lottery, or you're going to get something free, or some free scheme is coming up, or a tour to Singapore or something, we immediately tend to click on that. So that also needs to be really looked into. Update devices software. Pirated software is what we like to use. We don't want to pay money for any software, so the updates, links, etc., we never really look into. Least privilege principle also, don't allow anybody. Keep that secrecy, keep that privacy of our systems also in place. So we need to follow all those cyber hygiene principles, every person in the organization also. It's so very important, because a small mistake by one person in the organization will really damage the entire banking system and lead to a lot of money loss also, monetary losses also, and loss of reputation also. So the responsibility of the staff is also very crucial. We need to understand both in the digital realm and otherwise also. There are no shortcuts. We need to follow procedures. No coming back. Every set rules are there. If you want to pass a loan with all the set rules. If you want to give some financial benefit to anybody, that also follow the procedure. No shortcuts at all, absolutely. Unusual transactions, I mentioned. Any unusual activity happening, we need to really flag it up. See, many of the recent case around a year back, a case in Bombay where a bank, the person working, one person was on duty in the night. He found that a lot of unusual activity was happening in the night in the bank data system. He immediately alerted the CISO, and they actually locked it down. Otherwise, they would have lost almost, the plan was to steal away 1,000 crores of rupees from that particular bank and transferring it to various banks in Singapore and around the globe. But he was very alert. He immediately noticed that, and he could stop that. Protecting customer data and confidentiality, of course, is one of the major things that every bank should do. Continuous learning and vigilance training, because we need to understand that for every employee, it's not that we are trained in cybersecurity now or the principles now and then we can rest on our laurels, because problems are changing every day. New problems are coming up. This bank frauds we have been investigating, I've been working in the cybersecurity realm. we should understand how ingenious the people are. New ideas, new steps. You don't even know how they are going to steal money. So smart guys with all these tools coming up just to fool you. And even I've seen police officers, IPS officers, IAS officers losing money because these fraudsters are even smarter than them. So they find out your weaknesses, what your weakness is. They come use that weakness, send a phishing email or a smishing or a SMS message, and really fool you in clicking a link. So we really need to train ourselves, retrain. It's a continuous process of training in the cyber security realm as what principles we need to follow. We need to really be aware of what is happening, because most of the crimes that have happened is because we are not aware of what is happening in the country or in the world as such. So that is also very important. Continuous learning is there. And of course, responding to suspicious cyber events, suppose something happens also, we need to have a plan in place on how we will put our system. Suppose a ransomware attack has happened on a bank system, everything is locked down. What do we do? So there needs to be a plan in place on how we should bounce back or what we should do. That response also has to be there, an incident response plan. I'm sure the bank has it, but every bank needs to have that. So basically a vision for the future. We need to understand it's not just following rules or complying with the rules as such. We need to emphasize the principle of integrity. Integrity in the personal sense also, we need to ensure that trust is there. On a professional level, we need to follow principles also, and the organization also. So the integrity has to be at various levels. It has to be at the individual level, at the professional level, or the organizational level, at the bank as a whole. We need to build that integrity, that trust among the citizens. And we need to understand that everybody has a role to play. We are all sentinels of vigilance. We need to be vigilant. Each one of us are the eyes and ears of the bank or the country or the organization. So each of us need to play that role for vigilance in the bank. So vigilance is basically, we need to understand it's a foundation. So nobody really emphasizes that. But vigilance is the foundation of the country's development. It's basically the vigilance is the foundation of the banking system also. Because if you lose your trust, then everything comes down. So it's very important that we build it as a foundation itself and go forward in the industry. Of course, in the country, a lot of legal provisions are there. I don't want to go into those legal provisions, but we have very strong rules. But I told you, this is all after we commit the act. So when corruption comes up, it's after the corruption that law takes over. But the fear of the law, the preventive vigilance that we need to emphasize on is the most important thing. We need to prevent corruption from happening itself. So before that, preventive vigilance is very important, and that's what we need to concentrate on in this digital world also. So it's basically anti-corruption or vigilance or building trust is activity that is not for a particular individual. All stakeholders are there, the citizens, the press, the banking industry, the government, we in the law enforcement, everybody. We need to come together. We can't do anything alone. It's basically a principle where all stakeholders have to come together. We have to work together and ensure that we build a very strong country. We build a very strong organization. We build a strong individual within the organization also. So that is very crucial. So I just want to sign off by saying that integrity is not only in big things. Sometimes when we talk of corruption, etc., people think it's only the big things that happen. No, a small favoritism somewhere, or aligning with somebody, or doing a favorable decisions not for money, maybe for other considerations itself is also taking our integrity away. So even in the small thing, big things, integrity is a very crucial factor, and particularly in the banks, you need to be very careful in every act that you do. In all organizations also, small and big, we need to really follow that principle of integrity and trust. Together, we need to really work together. As I told you, every individual, every person in the organization from top to bottom, he is important. We need to work together. The stakeholders need to work together. The citizens need to work together if we want to make the country strong. So let vigilance be our strength. It's our foundation. We need to really build on that, and that is how we can take our country forward. So thank you once again. I'm sure the employees of the vigilance, the Union Bank will always uphold these principles of integrity, transparency, accountability, and trust. And I'm sure you will be. The Union Bank has already been working with us for a long time. They are based on those principles also. I'm sure with the years to come, you will go further in this regard and build a very strong banking sector, which will actually contribute to the growth of the country also. Thank you very much.
വാർത്തകളും വിശേഷങ്ങളും ഇവിടെ അവസാനിക്കുന്നില്ല. കൂടുതൽ വാർത്തകളും വിശേഷങ്ങളുമായി വീണ്ടും കണ്ടുമുട്ടുന്നതുവരെ ഏവർക്കും നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം.